see, it all depends what your definition of drugs is too.
Cigarettes are drugs, coffee's drugs.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. Yeah, there's all these drugs that you can buy in the system, but the system says to you that other things are drugs and you can't have those things, you know? To me, like a lot of people might see marijuana as a drug, but I smoke marijuana and a lot of people do in Australia, I reckon, and it's probably part of the bloody culture now in Australia. There's so many people smoke dope, you know? But to me, I don't see that as a drug, I see that more as a herb. But I see things like speed and heroin as drugs, you know, and to me, I think, I don't know, like if you want to use drugs, you've got to be careful with them, you know, and people can get into drugs and die from it, you know what I mean? They get sucked into it too much. It's like, I don't know, it's like this, I say it like this, right? If anybody, there's everything there in the society, you know? If you want to buy a gun, you can buy a gun. If you want to buy heroin, you can buy heroin. If you want to buy marijuana, someone will sell you marijuana. If you want to buy alcohol, you can buy alcohol. It's like there's everything, but you've got to sort of try and learn to get all these things under control, you know what I mean? Like, people get involved in things and they don't know what they're doing, you know what I mean? And that's how they get sucked into them, like they become alcoholics or heroin addict or bombed out on speed or just smoking dope all day and not doing anything, you know what I mean?
See, I don't see marijuana as a drug because it's a herb and it grows in the ground, you know, and it's pretty natural. And you can grow one in your a plant in your backyard and smoke it just the same as you could grow oregano or basil or, you know, spring onions in your backyard. It's all the same to me.
It hasn't got as many detrimental effects as all the other drugs. Like you can get stoned one night and you won't wake up feeling really fucked and hungover the next morning, you know. It has no effect on you physically.
So, you know, that just all points that it's okay for human use, you know.
But what about drugs like heroin?
Oh yeah, no, we don't get into them.
Like
It's really bad.
You know some people and they're not into it and then they go, oh, you know, I've been getting into heroin and shooting up, it's really cool, and they're just the whole personality and outlook on life changes.
It's shit.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The negative image that's been developed from punk or that's been generated from punk, where do you see that as having been?
Media misrepresentation.
Yeah, that would have a lot to do with it.
And plus when, you know, when there's, and when there's something about punk in the media, you'll find it's always really over-sensationalised and, you know, and the facts are distorted, like, you know, and they just really play on the bad aspects. Like I Spit on Your Gravy, there was a thing in The Truth about them, you know, and it just made them sound just so bad and totally, you know, totally over.
So the worse they make us out, the more sales they make, so...
Yeah, like that guy in England, you know, with the super glue spiky hairdo who got sacked from his job. You'd heard about that for weeks and weeks and weeks,
You see, these people watch Willisy, and Mr. Willisy tells them that all these punks, you know, 20 of them sleep in a bed and there's no rules except you can't shoot up heroin upstairs, you know. What do you expect them to believe if they see stuff
So
like
I'm sure
that?
Willisy...
That's the image that's put
I'm sure,
across.
The image put to them, so they don't know any better.
Is it true? Is it a truth?
It's not true.
There are people, there obviously are people who are like that, but every culture has their idiots. I mean,
listen to most of the bands that are involved in the punk thing at the moment, and most of them have got anti-violence songs, you know.
But you always hear about the bad aspects, but nobody ever takes the trouble to write about the positive aspects. You know, because it's not as interesting. It's not as interesting as slagging at somebody or knocking somebody to the ground or getting pissed or shooting up or something like that. It doesn't sell as many papers or whatever, you know.
But where do you think punk in Australia, or how do you think punk in Australia is going to improve things here?
I'd say basically it's really not. It
won't improve.
It won't
it won't make a big change over the whole thing at the moment. But basically, it's up to the people involved themselves to satisfy their own peace of mind and do what they can.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel disgruntled that the change that you're trying to bring about probably won't come to its fruition in
my lifetime? Yeah, I do, yeah. But I know that I'll have played a small part in it, you know, and so many other people have in the past, you know. But yeah, I do, yeah. But I've seen a lot of, in my lifetime, I've seen a lot of these things I'm talking about coming into existence though as well, you know what I mean? Which is really satisfying for me as well.
Like the way I feel inside, amongst my friends and the people I can talk to and relate to, it's something better than what I see out there. To me, there's two different worlds, you know. There's a world where, you know, you can go along and flow along with, you know, whatever's going, all these fucking corporations working, getting a house, all that stuff. Or you can become yourself and think individually, you know.
Against the grain.
Yeah. And then you find people that have got along the same thoughts, maybe not exactly the same as you, because they're individuals, and you find that you've got something to share in that, and you feel like you're not alone. And that you know, that's something that I've found that it's been growing, because I've found more people who I can talk to and I can relate deeply to inside myself. I think a lot of the emotion and love and like showing your affection to someone, I think it's going now.
Yeah.
It's a circle.
Punk?
Oh, just rubbish, isn't it?
Why do you say it's rubbish?
Your peace of mind is your own peace of mind.